Hey everybody. This is part two of my top 100 games list of all time. More so just a subjective list with a little bit of objectivity here, talking about the influences of some of these games and obviously just great gameplay, things that really objectively cannot be taken away from some of these games. But subjectively, I'm definitely putting in some of the games that maybe a lot of people wouldn't put in their top 100, or they wouldn't put as high, or they wouldn't put as low. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the first video. Definitely a bit all over the place, a little bit exhausted, and I was pretty hungry. I didn't eat this morning, but now I'm fed, well hydrated. I feel good, and I'm ready to continue the list and hopefully not take an hour and a half to get through the rest of these. I'm assuming that this might be like 30, no, let's say 45 to an hour. Okay, so I'll try to keep it within that time frame because I don't need to go through all the other bullshit introduction shit that I had to go through before. All right. So starting off this part two list, it's going to be number 49, which is Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. I think anybody that played this game, like some people would even have this as their top 10 game. I feel like I've played so many Mario games that for me, this is definitely a game that is the perfect version of the modern era of what Mario is, and especially with like Worlds. People love Worlds. I haven't played it actually because I don't have a Switch anymore. I think one day I'm going to get a Switch again for I can play some of the games that I've missed out on. But I think for me, playing this game as a kid, growing up with 64 and growing up with all these other Mario games, it feels like a great entryway into the modern era. And it's extremely been already very influential. It was a huge game at the time. It really brought the Switch back to where it kind of, or Nintendo back to where they needed to be because the Wii U was a huge disaster. I did actually have a Wii U. I remember I got it and I really wanted to play Zombie U, which was a fun game. I played it eventually years later and it was fine. The Wii U had a couple of decent titles, but I can't even think of one that was worth even mentioning. Just a bunch of games that eventually ended up being on the Switch and were way better on the Switch. So, you know, like Super Smash Bros. And you know, the Legend of Zelda. And I think Wind Waker was probably maybe one of the better ones because it was re-released on the Wii U. I think I'm correct on that. I'm unsure. Either way, the Wii U was garbage, but thankfully the Super Mario Odyssey game really brought Nintendo back to where they were, to this sort of prominent position where they kind of rightfully deserve to be, especially with all these products and all these characters that they have under their belt. They really should be the top dogs when it comes to products being put out into the market and just dominating in that way. And this was definitely one of those games that helped like push that. And I think it's going to be a game that stands the test of time. A game that did this for them way before this, not too way before, but just two previous console cycles before, is a game that came with every Wii console. And yeah, that's Wii Sports. Look, is this the most in-depth game? No. Is this the most like genre-defining game? No. It's just one of the most fun games of all time. You had it, it was one of the best games ever included with a console, bar none. Like bar none. I don't think there's ever going to be anything as good as Wii Sports. It had every sport on that game was fun. The baseball game was fun. The bowling was fun. The boxing was tremendous. Tennis was fun as fuck. I can't remember if there was more. Oh, golf. Golf was a shit ton of fun. Yeah, it had everything. It was something that I think everybody played. People that didn't even have a console, people that didn't even play video games, played Wii Sports because it was just so accessible. It was an ingenious idea that somehow was never captured again by them. Like I know that they released other Wii Sports like titles, but it just I don't know, it somehow lost some of the special something special that the first one captured, even with like the level progression where like you would go against more difficult characters the better you played in whatever you were playing in. It was awesome. I loved it. Oh my god, the boxing was so much fun. I went all the way, beat the most strong motherfucker. Oh man, and you would get a workout playing Wii Sports sometimes. So if you've never played that game, I know it sounds ridiculous, but play it. It's fun. It's still so much fun till this day. It's a great family game. The Wii console is a bit of a pain in the ass. I'll be honest, you have to get like a shit ton of batteries and all that, but it's worth it. It's really worth it. Okay, this one's one that I know a lot of people have not heard of in this generation, and maybe even people of my generation don't remember this game too much. But this is going to be Mega Man Battle Network 2. Although I think that most of the Battle Network games are fantastic, I think 2 was my favorite one as a game. So this is an extremely unique game that came out for the Game Boy. It was sort of capturing some of the turn-style gameplay of Final Fantasy and other games that were alike, but this one really did it in its own way that I have not seen done ever since then, and maybe that's just a fault of my own. I wish I could play a game similar to this, because I know I would become addicted. But I love this game as a kid. I used to come back home from school, play it all day, and then I think I just kept playing it all the time. I honestly want to have this one like in a CIB complete in box or even graded because I just oh man, this game is my heart as a kid. I loved this game. The gameplay is so addictive and fun. It's a good story. It's not nothing to write home to, and it's Mega Man. You know, it's Mega Man. It's just a bunch of fun gameplay. So definitely a dark horse one for sure, like one that wouldn't be on anybody's list. But I think for me, it holds a lot of heart for me. Like it really holds a special place in my heart. Number 46 might also be a surprise, and it's going to be Alien Isolation. So Alien Isolation for me is a sleeper game that was popular, but I still feel like it doesn't get its flowers. I feel like it doesn't get its recognition for being such a phenomenal game. Like phenomenal. From top to bottom, I feel like it's one of those perfect games. Maybe there might have been some issues, but I don't remember any. I love the story, I love the gameplay, I love the graphics, I love the design of the game. It captured exactly what you would want from an Alien game, and I think that that's always so important. You know, when it came to a lot of the other Alien games, they weren't really able to do such a well enough job from in my personal opinion. I love the Alien franchise, so I wanted to just start off saying that. Um, Alien versus Predator was a fantastic multiplayer game, but I would say that like it's not like it's not a game that I would even put on this list, but it's not really a game that really captured what it felt like to to fear the alien. The alien has never, in my opinion, ever been as fearful as you would feel in this game. I remember just trying to run away from that motherfucker and like run for the fucking hills. And that's exactly how you should feel when you're up against a fucking 10-foot fucking alien. That's exactly what you should feel, and they capture that. And it's special that they did. And it really fucking sucks that they never made a goddamn sequel. I mean, what the fuck? It was a slam dunk entry. I think that financially it didn't do the best, but I'm not really sure. It's sometimes just the case where sometimes something that's really fantastic, maybe it doesn't need a sequel. I think that this game needed a sequel. I think that this game needs a franchise. Like, I think there needs to be more Alien Isolation games. I'm not sure if it would work as well in today's age, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know. I hope that one day they continue the franchise, but I don't know if it would still work because it came out so long ago at this point. It's almost been 10 years, I think. Almost 10 years. But either way. All right, so number 45 is going to be Bully. So Bully is probably a game that a lot of people wouldn't even want to play now, and it would be so controversial, and it would be like the game that would get Rockstar canceled. Maybe it will be. Maybe somebody's going to make a tweet and be like, oh, remember when Rockstar made this game about being a bully and then like just minimize it to just that fragment of it and not really look into the game or the gameplay or anything about it? Which granted, yeah, you're being a fucking bully. But there's a lot more to it. There's a whole story. There's a characterization and you kind of come out from being a bully, but it's kind of in between. You kind of still stay a bully, but you also aren't a bully near the end of the game. Uh, this game is amazing. Rockstar is just so fucking great, man. Um, yeah, they just. I remember playing this game and I was exploring the open world, trying to do everything, trying to collect everything. The story is really great. Like, it's a really great story, a very engaging one. And I think that the gameplay is just an incredible amounts of fun. I wish that they would remake this game. I don't know if it would work at all. I don't know if people would buy it. I just hope that they do. I think it's a game that needs to be enjoyed by everybody. Number 44 is actually even a surprising one for me to see, but I can understand why. It's The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So Twilight Princess was literally my first Zelda game. I didn't play any of the other Zelda games. I think I probably saw people play the other ones. This was my first legitimate one, and wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's a fantastic Wii console game, a fantastic Zelda game. Now that I've played a couple of more of them, I've played Majora's Mask, and I've played the Switch ones as well, and some of the older classics as well. Even the remake of the first one, which was good. I wasn't too crazy about that one, but it was good. This one stands above and beyond most of those for me personally because it phenomenal story. I love the story. I love the gameplay. I love the Ganondorf. He's like a wolf in this game or something like that. I can't fully remember, but the design of the villain is just it's beautiful. It's a beautiful looking game, and it's extremely accessible. I love that, not being a Zelda fan, I was able to just get into the game and just fall in love with the world. It's a special game in my heart. I think as a kid, I really loved it, and I love that I was finally able to get into to Zelda in general because Link is playing Super Smash Bros. As a kid for me was the world, and Link was always a character there. So to be able to like explore some of those characters, especially Link, in this way was a special thing for me for sure. So this one's going to be a little bit of a rant because I feel like I need to talk about why this game is so fantastic, and most people will not really understand why, but they need to because this is a special game. So Deadly Premonition is number 43. And I get it. Like a lot of people have shitted this game, shitted on it. They said it's terrible, and it's a part of its charm. And there's a reason why it's as bad as it is because of the way that the director took the game and what he wanted to do with it. Definitely a bit of a large bit of a mess for sure. 1 second. I'm realizing that the camera footage is a little bit laggy, so I'm gonna try to figure out what's going on. So I figured out what it was. It was just basically I put on my lighting and then I have the outside lighting. So I'm gonna just stick with the outside lighting because it keeps trying to adjust to both lighting. But yeah. So it just kept trying to do that. I'm definitely gonna get a new camera, and I think it's still kind of doing it. Whatever. Because I'm looking at my lips sometimes, and I'm like it's like a second behind and before that was not having this problem. Either way, where was I? All right. So Deadly Premonition. Um, this is basically the birth child of Twin Peaks. And if you've never seen Twin Peaks, it's a phenomenally weird show that even I haven't finished. I have to watch the season that they came out with years later because I watched the original 90s run. 90s, yeah. And that show is wonderfully weird with a very captivating story and just like the most odd characters ever put to screen. And it was the birth child of this. It basically utilized literally the same ideas, the same premise, and made a whole story about it. What I have to say about this game is that the gameplay is fun, and it's weird, and it's terrible at times, and it's unique. The setting is the most unique thing of all time. Like, I get that it took influence from Twin Peaks, but I think to capture that essence is extremely difficult, and a lot of things have definitely tried to do that, and they could not fucking even come close. This is easily the closest thing that comes to a Twin Peaks sort of like uh, mirroring a lot of what Twin Peaks was. Even beyond that, it's a very funny game because of how janky it is and how weird it is, and it's a really compelling story. I think the way that things are resolved and how they sort of play out is extremely well done. And it's a game that is never going to leave my heart. The fucking stupid song that plays, right? Or is that Animal Crossing? 1 second, because that might be the Animal Crossing song. It goes like, it's the most annoying song on the fucking planet, and it's incredibly addictive. It's so memorable too, because you fucking hear it like a million times during the game. And I've talked about some unique games here, dude. They don't even fucking come close to how unique this game is and how weird it is. Like for me, I'm a person that when it comes to something that's sad or scary or I like the unique video games, movies, media that kind of portray these sorts of things. I can largely appreciate something that gives me a feeling that I've never had before, even if it's an uncomfortable feeling. So this game kind of encompasses all of that. And it even has some moments of being scary and, gameplay portions where you're trying not to die. But it's such a janky fucking game. I will say that it's the jankiest game here and I fucking love it. I would say that this is a top 10 game for me personally because I don't know if another game will ever give me an experience like this. The second one was, in my opinion, it was actually pretty good. I know a lot of people didn't like it, and of course, it was fucking janky as shit, which is not surprising. It tried to capture some of the essence of the first one, which it didn't do. Because it was trying. Like the first one wasn't trying. The guy just didn't know what the fuck he was doing, and he just kind of created a masterpiece. It's just one of those things. It's really weird. I just can't recommend this game. I could make a whole fucking video on this game. I fucking love Deadly Premonition. I want to play it again one day. And I don't want to play it again because, my God, that gameplay is horrendous. Either way, that's number 43, and I'm done with that one. I don't want to be done with it, but I should be done with it. So number 42 is Disco Elysium. And this game is a recent game that I think came out 4 or 5 years ago. I was able to play it on my PC because my PC is able to run like decent games, nothing too amazing. And I love the text-based games where like you choose something and then you go on a certain path. This has the perfect semblance of that because I actually used to just play Steam games like that where you would literally put an answer and then you would go through like a text file, like a text box of just different decisions and all that sort of stuff. I love those kind of games. This game basically took that further, which a lot of games have done, like Fallout and the early Fallouts and all that shit. Uh, like I've said before in the previous video, in my opinion, up until this point, this is the perfect example of that, and I think a lot of people can completely resonate with that. The gameplay is fantastic. The story is phenomenal, like one of the best stories I've ever played. The graphics are really great, and I think the story time doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a good amount of time. I know I put a good amount of time into it. But the world is fascinating, man. It's a game that was completely under my radar until I saw all the awards that it was getting that year, and I was like, oh, let me just give it a shot, and I fucking loved it. It's one of the greatest games I've ever personally played, for sure. Number 41 is Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I don't even think I have too much to say about this one. This was probably like the third or fourth Zelda game that I played. It's perfection. It's the world is engaging. The gameplay is fantastic. It's the perfect version of Zelda. Like absolutely, it should even be higher. But I think for me personally, um, I don't have such a large affinity for Zelda. But I can absolutely appreciate how phenomenal this game is, and it would even be a top five game. Like objectively, I think this is a top five game, and I think as time goes on, it's going to be viewed in that way. But for me personally, it's not as great or has as much of a personal impact as some of these other games have. But I don't even want that to diminish how much of an impact this game had on me. I fucking love this game. I just know that I love these other games way more. Like that's how much love I have for some of these other games. Like number 40, which is Dead Space 2. So Dead Space is a phenomenal series. I know that a lot of people shit on the third one. I don't think that it's as great as the first two, but I don't think it's a bad game at all. I think that it does a good job. I just think that they went in the wrong direction. Trying to make it a co-op game, it was just not the right direction, going for more action oriented. With that being said, though, Dead Space 3 is still a good game. If you play that game, you're going to enjoy the game. It's kind of like Resident Evil 6, which I'll get into the Resident Evil franchise later. But both games sort of went for this action style while losing some of the original sort of like substance of making it a lot slower. And that's why I think Dead Space 2 is just like the best example of this. And I think it's one of the greatest horror games of all time. I actually want to just quickly look through my list. I don't even know. I have like maybe 3 games ahead of it. Yeah. But like true horror, true scares, this is like one of the scariest games I've ever played. I fucking love it. And I love when the gameplay is difficult enough where you fear of dying. Because that should be what you get from a horror game. You should fear dying. Like that's the scariest thing of all time for any person, like regardless of how they feel about things. The true fear is always the fear of death. And yeah, Dead Space 2 just captures that, man. It's a great story, phenomenal story. The first one is fucking fantastic. And the second one, I think, is perfection. I think it has everything. The story is just as great, if not even better, and the gameplay is amazing. It's amazing. Oh my god, I can't wait until they remake that game. You know what's funny? I played Dead Space 2 near its release date, and I got so frustrated because I got stuck in this level where there's like a bunch of pillars and these motherfuckers are coming at you. And I just was going through a rough time. I was in my late teens. I was probably like 19 or 18. And I just gave up. I was like, fuck this. I can't fucking deal with this. Years later, how the fuck? The goddamn mosquito got in here. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. uh, years later, I started playing it again, and I fell in love, man. I felt that it was such a shame that I didn't play it when it first came out, and I get completely why people love this game. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait for the remake. This one is a game that I probably have put the most time into, and I think a lot of people who ever played this, you sink all your fucking hours into this game. It's Civilization Revolution 4. I'd say the whole series in general is incredibly addictive. I would just say that the fourth one for me, I played the most. So I don't even think it's the best game, but I just want to recommend this series and I want to really give it its flowers because already being on this list, like I would honestly argue that a lot of these games could be number one. Like I think for a lot of people, they would even consider Civilization Revolution 4 to be like a top game. Or maybe 3. I think 3 people love more. I'm thinking of 4 because I think it's the one that came out for the 360. But I did play it on the PC. So I played on the PC. I played then the one on the 360, and both I was absolutely addicted to. I probably put like fucking a month's worth of time into that shit. The gameplay is addictive, man. You try to conquer, you try to advance. It's just if you haven't played it, you have to experience it for yourself. And I think if you're into it, you're gonna fall head over heels for this game franchise. It's just amazing. I'm talking about it, and I want to play it again, even though I haven't played it for years. Now, this is one that holds like this is a top three in my heart for sure. I mean, the ones closer to the top 10, I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't put it in the top three, but it like Kid Doug. This game means the world to me, and it's Star Wars Battlefront 2. This game was basically like it was kind of like Gary's Mod, which I'm going to be talking about soon. Um, in a more condensed version, straight up Star Wars. But just like the things that you could do in that game, man, the lobbies you could get into, the space wars that you would get into, it captured everything that you like. If you were a Star Wars fan, this was everything that you'd ever wanted. And as a kid, it was exactly that. I got to fucking play as Darth Vader on fucking Tatooine or on Naboo or fucking be Luke Skywalker and fight fucking multiple Sith or be in a fucking a fucking I forget what the fucking starships are called, but be on one of those fucking starships and be fucking flying through space, shooting, destroying fucking Death Stars and destroying fucking huge fucking starships. You could fucking go into the enemy base for hours and just play this game, and it was just I don't. It was definitely a moment in time that I know that the Battlefront games later on tried to capture. For me personally, it just never did. I know that people love Battlefront 2 now. Just remembering that the game wasn't really well received for a while, and it's like again, it's one of those games that it came out, it wasn't that great, and then it gets well received later. But it's like, but why are we just discounting how it originally was? Because that's a huge part of any game. When a game is a complete package in the beginning, that for me earns more points than a game that eventually becomes fantastic. Like I could even probably put fucking what's that fucking game? The fuck, I'm gonna have to look it up. I could even put No Man's Sky, up there with like some of the greatest games of all time, because I remember playing it once it got fully updated and I was like, wow, this is exactly what was promised and it's amazing. It's phenomenal. But I'm not going to just discount how it originally released, man. That's a big that just as certain games have an impact in the culture in the moment, like some of these other games that I'm going to talk about, they also have the same adverse effect where some of them don't have any impact. And this in No Man's Sky was one of those games that had no impact. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for me had no impact at the time, the updated one. But Star Wars Battlefront 2 from the past, oh man, it really is something special. I'm trying to remember if it's one or two. Either way, if there isn't or there isn't, that game means the world to me. I probably put like that I put months into. Months as a kid. I played the fuck out of that. The fucking Galaxy Quest. Oh my god, what a great idea for a story, dude. Like a fucking storyline thing. It was perfect. And the multiplayer was perfect. I that's all I can say. It's that's a fucking absolute cinema type of game right there. Okay, number 37 is Donkey Kong 64. I think I can make the argument that it has the greatest cartridge ever, like this yellow design, and just with Donkey Kong looking to the side like that, it's just phenomenal. It's one of the most iconic cartridges for me. Just saying that alone, but it also means the world to me. I played that game as a kid. I love that game. I used to play with my friends. It's one of the funnest games I've ever played in my life. Beautiful world, fantastic story, extremely difficult to get all the fucking items in that game. Uh, I don't even know if I have to really say more, but if you've never played Donkey Kong 64, I think it's like it's time you give yourself a chance to try it out. It's also got a really fun multiplayer in that as well, like the co-op, couch co-op type stuff. Oh, this is a big one. So Gears of War 2 is number 36, and I'd say that the Gears of War franchise from 1 through 3 is one of the greatest Xbox, you know, like lead titles. Is I think the best one is 2. I think 3 could be considered to be better just because it finally wraps up the story, but and obviously, you know, Dom dying in that one is an incredibly heartbreaking moment that is only supplanted by the previous two games that elevate that moment so much more. And you really feel his sacrifice. But I think 2 just had the perfect semblance of gameplay, um, multiplayer, and single player. And it was just like, I don't think 3, and like, I mean, you could make the argument. It, you can even just say 2 and 3 really should be here, but I will just say that 2 is because I put way more time into 2. I played the multiplayer like fucking crazy. I loved 2. The wall bouncing was so much fun. Um, that mechanic that is really perfected in 2. It's very janky, but you know, it's just one of those beautiful things about old school jank that you're not going to really get in the newer games at all, other than like actually just broken games. It's the sort of difference where like jank could be added onto as a feature, which is not meant to be a feature, but it's just a feature of the game, and you could utilize it to sort of play it and have a lot of fun. So that really explains a lot of the multiplayer, but the single player I think is phenomenal, and the difficulty, the achievements on that game were a lot of fun to go through. I beat that game on the hardest difficulty with my best friend, and we both hold that game in high regard. And like I know for me, Marcus and the squad, like that's the greatest four-man band of all time in terms of video games. Like I can't think of a greater team. That's the most memorable team for me. Number 35 is Borderlands. So Borderlands, I think, is one of those games, man. I still remember when it came out. I literally bought it just because it looked cool. Like I looked at the cover and I was like, oh, that looks like a cool game. I had heard nothing about it, had heard none of the hype, which I don't think there was much at the time because it was just a cool looking game. I would say that that art style actually might be one of the most influential art styles of all time, especially for the modern era, because that's what led to eventually Spider-Man looking the way that it did. It brought in that art style, and the public accepted that art style. Very comic book like. That's what people sort of understood it at the time. Now it's probably not as well understood, and it's understood to be like Spider-Man, you know, comic Spider-Man style art style. But yeah, Borderlands in terms of its art style is fantastic. The story is extremely great, hilarious. Claptrap is annoyingly amazing character, more times annoying than amazing, but still iconic character. I actually have him somewhere over there as a popcorn bucket. I can't really tell if one or two deserves a spot. I feel like one, I loved the DLC of one. Like I played the fuck out of one and the DLC. But two, I think has the better story. So and the better gameplay. Because honestly, Borderlands 3 has the perfect gameplay, and I'm waiting. I'm gonna be picking up Borderlands 4 soon, just because I would love to sort of just sort of see where they went with the franchise. I'm gonna do it when I'm a little bit more free though. But yeah, Borderlands, just phenomenal game. If you haven't played it, you gotta play it. So this one, I'm like uncertain if I should have it this low, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I could even move this way higher. But at the same time, mm, I'm gonna keep it here for now. But I think Red Dead Redemption is a game that probably should be a top 10 game, but it's right here on the number 34th spot. I think I forgot it while I was writing everything out. So I'll probably move it way higher. I think it's gonna crack the 20 for sure. Yeah, it's for sure gonna crack the 20. What can I say? Both games are phenomenal, and both games can be considered like top 10 games. Amazing story. One of the best stories of all time, honestly. Uh, the first one and the second one, they both have just phenomenal stories. The second one is some of the best gameplay of its style, and the graphics are amazing, and the open world, it's a huge map. You could probably spend your life like playing this game. It's that huge. The first one, maybe the story it holds a little bit more to my heart because John Marston, dying the way that he does, like a fucking hero. I remember when I first played that part, I kept replaying it because I'm like, maybe I can kill all of them. I think I could probably kill all of them. And I had to look it up online. They were like, no, you can't save him. I was like, no, I didn't want him to fucking die. You're fucking surviving all these things throughout the story. You really make it through, and then you're just fucking gunned down by these fucking douchebags. And it's just like, damn, dude. It's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Um, yeah, I don't even know if I have much to say. Oh, the multiplayers were also so much fun. And the zombie DLC for the first one of the best DLCs of all time. Easily. Easily. That, Elden Ring's DLC, the Dark Souls DLCs. Yeah. Yeah. Like, not even fucking close. The Grand Theft Auto 4 DLCs, those were phenomenal. Yeah, I have nothing else to say about Red Dead Redemption. So number 33 might be a surprise for some people. Um, I think that it's not much of a surprise for me because of how much I love this game, and it's kind of indicative of some other games that ended up to take on this model and try to go way further with it. But even I don't think they really could capture the essence of what Gary's mod had. And Gary's mod is literally just a mod made by some random dude, and he just modded most of the fucking games from the Half-Life game and Portal and all these other games. Um, I'm trying to remember the company that made it, but I can't remember them right now. So it's I don't even know what to say, man. It's an incredibly creative game. It really puts you at the forefront to do most of whatever you want to do with it. You could play all the games on it, all these other games on fucking Gary's mod. Um, and the multiplayer I think is one of the most uniquely made community-based multiplayers I've ever played. I've never come close to anything even remotely close to what that game had. I know that Roblox does stuff like this now, which is highly influential by Gary's mod, by the way. You would have no fucking Roblox servers or like multiple games like that without Gary's mod. Gary's mod is what brought that into the forefront and even made it accessible and made it a thing. It's influential in Halo 3 Forge. It's influential in fucking everything, dude. It's a timeless game. It's weird because it's not even really a game, but it's a necessary game. Like if you've ever played video games, this has to be something that you look into. It has to be something that you. I don't even know if the servers are still running on that thing, but I hope that they are. I hope that they run forever because yeah, it's a special game for sure. It's one of the most influential games of all time. Um, yeah. for sure. Like a top five, yeah. Number 32 is going to go to Dragon's Dogma. So this game I played maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I didn't even play it during its original release cycle, and I have to play the second one because I haven't fucking touched it, and it's so disappointing. I just haven't even purchased it because I'm like, if I wait for some time to go by, like, I'll just eventually get it when it's cheap. So that's kind of been like my idea. Um, this game is amazing. I can't even believe I missed this game. It has such a phenomenal story. The gameplay is so much fun. The open world is enticing, and it just man, I fucking played it twice. I fucking played it when the original 360, and then I played the remastered. That's how much I fucking loved this game. Like, I was addicted, man. I was addicted, and I one day want to play it again. I think it's a timeless game for sure. Number 31 is going to go to Conker's Bad Fur Day. So Conker's Bad Fur Day for me is one of the funniest games I've ever played. Again, a largely influential game when it comes to like the sort of satirical elements of games. Like, you wouldn't even have Deadpool, like the video game, which is also another great game, by the way. Probably could even go on here, but I'll just say that's an honorable mention as a game that people should absolutely check out. You wouldn't have Deadpool. You wouldn't have multiple games that ever break the fourth wall. You would not have games that ever make references as much as this fucking game did. Multiplayer components that this game introduced, largely impactful later on. Like the couch co-op stuff that they had was, oh my god, it was so much fun. If you guys have never played it, amazing. I know it wouldn't be amazing now, but it really was unique at the time. The story is also, again, probably along with Spec Ops: The Line, but I'd say it's one of the most unique stories out there. You're never gonna see a story like Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I think it also says a lot of things about being in the position of power and what you sort of lose to get on the way there. It's interesting that it even has any sort of you know messaging. Uh, And I also want to quickly mention the Xbox version. The multiplayer on that was so much fun, and it was awesome to get an updated version of the game. I really hope that they remake it again. I just want to play it. I just want to play it so bad. I put so much time into that game. The bosses are so great. The fucking big poo and the fucking Dracula level and the vampire level, and oh my god, the Matrix portion of the end. It just, I don't know. It holds so many moments in my head. If it's like a fucking, I have like a Rolodex of memory moments of just Conker's Bad Fur Day in my head. Number 30 is going to be a surprise to a lot of people because I also don't think a lot of people would hold this one into high regard, but I think it just deserves praise, man, and it's the Godfather game for the Xbox 360. I want to say that the second one is also fantastic. I fucking got every achievement in that game and it was a ton of fun. But the first one, I think, captures the essence of the movie amazingly so. Amazingly so. Like, it really shouldn't have captured that much, and it's a type of gameplay style that's just not popular now. It kind of did a little bit of what Grand Theft Auto was doing, but it did it in its own fashion. And oh man, I remember playing that game all the time, trying to take over all the areas, and the fucking main story is just so good. I mean, you have the Godfather story, so you can't even go wrong there. Told through this sort of a little bit of a different lens. But yeah, it's amazing. I don't know what else to say. The Godfather is an amazing game. I don't know if it holds up now, but I know that at the time I loved it. Okay, so this one is a little bit of a complicated one. So number 29 is going to go to Pokemon Crystal. But what I want to say is that there are so many Pokemon games that I've played that I would even consider to be just as strong, maybe even stronger. I'm only putting Pokemon Crystal as the example of it because of the cartridge. It's beautiful. Like, bro, none of the other ones come close to looking that beautiful. The fucking blue holographic shit. It look like, come on. It's up there with Donkey Kong, probably way higher than Donkey Kong, but one of the most beautiful cartridges of all time. Like, anybody that's played Pokemon, they would say, yeah, that's absolutely the truth. But I would also put, some games afterwards, like Fire Red and Sapphire and Ruby. I fucking love those games. I was also a pretty huge fan of Scarlet and Violet. I absolutely loved it. I wouldn't say it's at the same level, but I also think that it was a largely underrated game. I don't really know if I have much to say about Pokemon in general. It's just a game that if you haven't played it, there's not really much for me to say. Um, just play Pokemon. It's awesome, a lot of fun. Uh, but yeah, Pokemon Crystal holds a lot in my heart. I remember I had a Game Boy Advance and I had Pokemon Crystal in it, and I fucking left it on the bus one day. Oh, and I was heartbroken. My mom actually did end up buying me it again, but I was absolutely heartbroken. Ooh, number 28. Oh man, I feel like as the years have gone on, this game has just grown better and better in my mind, and it's going to be Celeste. So Celeste is a game that came out a couple of years ago. So, it's a modern game. It's a game that I think really touched what most people want in like a sort of puzzle like game in that way. And it became pretty largely influential in games that sort of tried to mimic its style. But I think this is just the most unique one, and it's so beautiful, and the art style is beautiful. I love the soundtrack. I have the fucking vinyl behind me because I love the soundtrack. It's one of the greatest soundtracks of all time, and it's just beautiful. And the difficulty is, oh, it's perfect, bro. It's perfect. It gets extremely difficult near the end, and even more difficult if you want to keep going. But oh man, it felt so rewarding getting past certain levels. So fucking rewarding. It's a very simple game. Like it's straightforward, but it's not simple in how you have to figure things out. Absolutely recommend this one. Probably the most out of anything that I've even mentioned. I think Celeste is a must play for sure. Number 27 is going to go to Crackdown 1 and 2. I can't really decide which one. I feel like 1 I remember more story wise, but 2 I played way more, and I think the gameplay is way better. But it might be 2. I might be misremembering 1 entirely. Um, so Crackdown. I'm gonna just start from Crackdown. Just Crackdown 2. Both games have an incredible world. It's super cool. You play as this fucking like superhuman who fucking has to defend the city, and you can basically just choose how you want to do that. And it's incredibly fun, destructive. Crackdown 3 was ass. It was fucking ass. Terry Crews fucking chose that role over playing Doomfist. And I think they also fucking passed up on him for whatever fucking reason. I'm not entirely sure if it's because he passed up to do Crackdown 3. It still haunts me till this day. He should have been Doomfist. Like, what the fuck? Who else would have been a better Doomfist than Terry Crews? Imagine, like, fucking charging your fist and hearing Terry Crews fucking, like, yell. Don't even get me started. Crackdown 3 ruined so many things. Fuck Crackdown 3. Crackdown 1 and 2, though, bangers. Just bangers. Just go play it. That's all I gotta say. 26, Dead Rising 2. The Dead Rising series, for me, oh man, I played the fuck out of 1, and I really just played the fuck out of 1 just to survive. That's what I love to do. I just love to survive. 2, and I will say Adam West is, right? Is it Adam West? I know Adam West is the fucking actor. I'm gonna just say Adam West. I hear that fucking bee somewhere, man. It just flew past me. So iconic protagonist, iconic game, like one of the greatest games of all time. Then they follow it up with 2 with this whole new guy, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this one, and it was phenomenal, bro. It just co-op was the most fun co-op experience I've ever had. I won't be surprised. Maybe I have a couple that are a little bit higher, but single player co-op wise, this is the best. Oh man, it's so much fucking fun. It's stupid that it's the same character twice, but I don't even care. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even fucking matter because the gameplay is so much fun. It improves on everything from the first one. The storyline is great. The character is great. All of it's iconic. It's iconic. I don't even know if there's more to say than that. It's just, yeah. And all the games subsequent afterwards that came out, like the small DLC games, basically they were DLC games, honestly. And 3 was good. Wasn't too amazing. It was fine. Dead Rising 4 was good. Like none of them really captured how great the first 2 was, but I think I still enjoyed 3 and 4 for sure. Oh man, this is a banger. If the Godfather captured The Godfather, I think this game, sorry, it basically expresses everything that you would want in a Mafia game, and that's Mafia 2. Now, what I will say is that I played Mafia the remastered, phenomenal. I'd even maybe say if I could do like a top 100 with like all these games, it would probably make the top 100. But Mafia 2, I think, is perfection. Funnily enough, I played this on the Xbox One, so like years after it came out. I think it was like a free game, and I was playing it. And I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. And then I just kept playing and kept playing and kept playing, and oh my god, the story is amazing, amazing story. Um, the gameplay is a ton of fun. It's definitely a little jank and pretty difficult now, but I think for the time it really captures something amazing. And the games that came afterwards, they were fine, they were good. They did a good enough and serviceable job. They're not bad at all. Like they're good. But this is the perfect Mafia game. It's the perfect Mafia game. Like nothing even close. I think that really something from a game like this, what you would look for is just the story. Amazing story. Absolutely would recommend to play Mafia 2. Okay, so this one's a bit complicated as well because I feel like, oh man, I didn't even put the online one here. I guess I'll put them both in this spot. So I'm gonna put World of Warcraft Online and World of Warcraft 3 in this spot. It's so difficult because I feel like online meant the world to me when I played back then. I fucking loved it, and I'll get into the story of that. But World of Warcraft 3 is what I really want to focus on. So this game was the first World of Warcraft game that I played as a kid, and I remember really liking it. I was like, oh, this is a really great story. My friend, a babysitter that I had, he used to play StarCraft, and I think he put me onto World of Warcraft 3. And I was like, oh, I have to play this game. And the story is, I think that story is one of the best stories I've ever played. To see the fall of the main character turn into the Lich King, and then you have to like kill him later on is fucking like tragic, dude. It's like some like Shakespearean ass fucking storytelling too. Um, fucking hell, I'm gonna pause it till that stops. All right, sorry about that. Some fucking asshole's car kept sounding off. So yeah, it's one of the most amazing stories. Like, and the gameplay is addictive as fuck. It's so addictive. Simple, straightforward. You could fucking play that game and do like 3 different fucking things. That's what I used to do. I used to fucking play that game over and over and over again and fucking be watching a movie, fucking playing another game on my 360. Like I loved World of Warcraft 3 for the story. Story, it's literally a top 10 story. Easy, maybe top 5. Maybe. And I still got a couple games to go through here, so it's kind of difficult. But yeah, so all of that is phenomenal. Then the fucking multiplayer, oh my god. It was basically Gary's Mod before Gary's Mod came out. You could get into these lobbies and people made the most creative fucking lobbies, dude. You could fucking do one thing where you're role playing. You could do another one where you're doing a tower defense. You could do another one where you're playing like an extended version of the campaign. Dude, the community really enhanced this game by a lot. And that's why I'm saying, like, I don't know if that's still there. I don't even know if you can even get a taste of what that was. And I know I'm going to one day replay the game. Like, that's how much I fucking love World of Warcraft 3. So fucking much. So much. It means no pun intended, but it means the world to me. Like, out of any title, I think I would honestly say it holds the most to my heart. I played the fuck out of World of Warcraft. And then the fucking online, let me get into the online. Amazing. Addictive as fuck. And the only reason why I was able to play it as a kid, because, we weren't like the most well financially off. And to fucking play World of Warcraft, you had to pay for a subscription, and that shit was expensive, man. It was like $15 a month. My friend knew some guy that allowed me to play on his account that he paid for a couple of months, and then one day he took it back, and I was heartbroken. But in those months, man, oh, dude, I know I was part of the horde. I just can't remember what the fuck I was. Because I ended up playing it again years later when they came out with the Blood Elf expansion, and then I was a Blood Elf, and I fucking loved it. I just can't remember if I don't think I was an Orc. I wasn't an Undead because my friend was an Undead. I can't remember. I can't remember what the fuck I was. Either way, yeah, that game also holds a lot of dear memories in my heart and in my mind, and I don't. It just it's something that is it's a product of its time. One of the most best-selling games of all time. Again, another absolutely one of the most influential games of all time. One of the most covered games and one of the most addictive games. If you've never played World of Warcraft, probably stay away from it. You know, because you should have a life. You should give yourself a life. But if you're not the most addictive type, try it out. Especially try out World of Warcraft 3. I don't give a fuck about 1 and 2. I don't even think I ever played those. World of Warcraft 3 is where it's at. That is perfection. That is perfection. Like, seriously, at this point on, I think all these games are perfect. Yeah, all these games are perfect in my eyes. Like the number 23 spot, which is Assassin's Creed 2. The Assassin's Creed franchise never got back to this point. I get that there were some decent ones. I know people love Black Flag. I didn't care for it. Um, 3 was fine. 2 is perfect. Perfect story. Perfect setting. Everything about it was perfect. I don't even. It's got the Assassin's Creed gameplay and updated from the first one. I do love the photo, like the cover of the first one more. I think it's iconic. Like I think that's an iconic ass fucking game cover. But also the second one is pretty fantastic as well with Enzo fucking like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's phenomenal. 1 and 2 are some of the greatest games of all time. I think that the first one's a bit more jankier and maybe the story isn't as concise in certain ways, but it also is phenomenal. And I still remember playing that as a kid, getting the game, assassinating targets. It was so fucking cool. There was nothing like that at the time. Like I guess Hitman, but it wasn't done in this way, and it was such a creatively told story. Like this guy that goes back into the past to assassinate targets, so cool. And as the games came out, they started elaborating more on the story, which I just felt became very convoluted, and I didn't give that much of a fuck. You didn't really need to explore or explain it that much. It's pretty clear that these guys were bad guys, and that was pretty clear the whole time. Either way, yeah, one of the greatest games of all time. Number 22 is Minecraft. I don't think I have much to say at all. Just addictive, amazing, love it. Put fucking so much time into this game. That's it. You guys know how great Minecraft is. I don't have to say anything else. Now this one, I don't think this would ever be on most people's top 100s either. Maybe if they played it, I think it's one of those games that you don't ever forget. It's Hitman Blood Money. So, I brought up Hitman 3 earlier, and this is now Hitman Blood Money way, way higher. And yeah, it was the perfect version of Hitman from the Hitman games that came out at that time. It was difficult, but not too difficult. It was accessible, perfectly accessible. The gameplay was fun. The notoriety system was great. The silent assassin challenges were amazing. Probably one of the most fun challenges that I ever got done, where I literally completed the entire game on silent assassin without ever being seen. Um, I think I replayed that game the most in terms of like the storylines and constantly just going back and trying to do better, learning how to play certain missions perfectly. I still know how to do the second mission perfectly, like perfectly. You got a fucking sniper rifle, you shoot both of the motherfuckers from the stage onto the guy looking, you climb back down, and then you fucking dip. And I fucking did that like so many fucking times just to practice it, just to hone my skills and know how to do that. Fucking loved it. And there were so many things that I learned. I love that it was a game that asked me like, hey, figure out how to do this if you really want to challenge yourself, but you could also just fucking have fun. You could just fucking shoot everybody. You could kill everybody. I used to do that all the time. I used to fucking play that game, fucking kill everybody in the level just to like really see like what everybody had and like just to get an idea of where everything is. It was always the best way, in my opinion, of learning a level is actually killing literally everybody. I think that's my problem with Hitman, like the Hitman series afterwards, that you can't really do that. Like, you're not gonna kill every single fucking person. It would take fucking hours. And then it's just so much. It's so much to learn, but that's what also kind of makes it amazing in that way. But I love that this one was more concise and more, tight in that way. So it allowed for things to actually really stick with you. And the attempts and the approaches that you could have for Hitman Blood Money's contracts were a lot more straightforward in that way. Yeah, it just has some of the best levels I've ever played in a video game. I mean, the house one with the fucking pool dude and the clown. I played that one maybe 500 plus times. I fucking love that level. I loved fucking with them. I loved dressing up as the clown and killing everybody in that level. Trying to have sex with the fucking women in that game. They really got you, man. They really got like the little perverted kids that would want to see like, sex to happen and then you'd fucking die or the fucking chick would pass out or some other bullshit. I'm like, fuck, man. As a kid, I was like, no. I was a little perv, but oh man, it was just so good. I loved it. All right, so yeah, like as I've been saying, like these are all games that all interchangeable. Number 20 is gonna go to Grand Theft Auto 4. I think what I'm gonna say more about Grand Theft Auto 4 is really more about Grand Theft Auto 5, at least to begin with. Just that, like, I'm not disappointed with Grand Theft Auto 5. I just think that, like, the gameplay and the story is phenomenal. I'm just really disappointed in where they went with the multiplayer. Grand Theft Auto 4 was like some of the most fun multiplayer I've ever had with the multiplayer. The way that you can go into certain buildings and like do things, and it was just way more fun for me. I don't know why 5 I never got that feeling that I had for 4. Maybe it was some form of nostalgia, but I also feel like I was young enough to get into 5 in that way, and I still played the fuck out of 5, and I've probably beaten that storyline like 3 or 4 times. I think a lot of people would keep 5 and 4 interchangeable. Most people would probably go with 5. For me, that's why I'm really talking more about 5 while I'm talking about 4, because I think 4 is basically speaks for itself. The storyline, I think, is way more engaging, hilarious, amazing, everything that you would want from a storyline. Uh, but but it definitely doesn't hold a candle in certain other ways. Obviously, like the expansiveness, the open worldness, the gameplay, it's all better in 5. But I think 4 just holds a really special place in my heart. I actually, so when 4 came out, a week before it came out, my mom and I had gone to Mohegan Sun in Pennsylvania or something like that, or in Connecticut. I can't really remember where. Um, and while we were driving back, we stopped at this like local video game store, and for some reason, the guy had Grand Theft Auto 4. Like I have no fucking clue why. And it was a little bit more expensive. I think he was charging like an extra $10-20. And I was begging my mom. I'm like, Mom, please, I love San Andreas. Another one that I haven't even fucking talked about, which also deserves to be on here, but it's gonna be grouped up under 4. San Andreas is phenomenal. I played all the Grand Theft Autos at this point, like every single one of them, even the PS Vita one, like and the DS one. Love all of them. 4 is still my top dog. And I was able to get it, for $80 fucking dollars at the time, which was insane. And I played it for like a whole week straight before anybody else was able to get it. I brought my friends over. They were watching me play it. Roman, oh, is it Nico? What, do you want to go bowling or what? I just, hey, Nico. Roman is one of the most iconic characters. And, Nico himself is just a fucking hilarious character. He's just so filled with such intense rage, and it's really always directed at Roman because he's a fucking pain in the ass. Yeah, it just, I love it. I feel like it's leagues higher personally for me than 5. Like, if I could put 5 on this list, I would even have it, like, in the top 75. I wouldn't have it in the top 25. I don't think that it holds a candle to 4. And I know that that's crazy to say from anybody that loves Grand Theft Auto, but I love 4 so fucking much. I think it's a game that I could also put in my number 1 spot. Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, now this was one that at the time, it's really funny. This was a debate between both of these franchises, right? Which one's the better game that sort of focuses on this? And I'm talking about Saints Row at the number 19 spot. So Saints Row, I'm going to put 1 and 2 because I think they both add a lot here. So this was the game that came out, and I don't even know how I was able to play it because I was a kid. I think I just was able to play it because my friend got it, and I saw a little bit about it, and I was like, oh, I have to play this game. Look, in terms of story and gameplay, these aren't the greatest games. Even in comparison to some of the other ones that have already been mentioned, even in comparison to Grand Theft Auto, the graphics, a lot of these things overtake Saints Row. I'm going to tell you what the fuck is so phenomenal about this game, though. The story is iconic. If you've played it, you fucking love it. You've never forgotten it. Johnny fucking Gat is one of the greatest fucking other fucking characters in a fucking video game ever. 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 I don't want to fucking hear it. Especially in those first 2 games. I know afterwards he becomes a little bit of a meme, but before that he was a fucking cool ass motherfucker. Okay? Julius. Fucking amazing. Played by fucking the amazing actor himself that I cannot, for whatever reason, recall his name, but he's been in fucking everything. But y'all know who he is. And yeah, Saints Row 1 has, I think, maybe a better story. I'm not really sure. I think the story is pretty even. Honestly, I'll say that. But the multiplayer is way better in 1. And the multiplayer was the most addictive multiplayer, I think, ever for me. Like maybe top 3 addictive multiplayer games that I've ever played. I used to fucking lag switch the fuck out of that game. So I had a lot of fond memories of pimp slapping motherfuckers while lag switching. It was one of those janky things that you could do back then that you can't do now. It was most people wouldn't even really know about this unless they talked to people that played during the time. But yeah, you could lag switch where you would basically turn off your router just for a second or two, shoot the motherfucker or slap the motherfucker, and basically what happens is you get timed out of the lobby for like a couple seconds, but you're still moving. So you can move you could do it for a whole 10 seconds. You can literally kill a whole team in the time that you fucking fuck with your router. I don't even know how I found out about this. I think, oh my God, I just remember, like I haven't thought about this in so long. You know how I found out about this? Granted, a lot of people started doing it, but I think the way that I learned how to do it was my connection was a little bit laggy at one point when I first had a router, and I think I was lagging while I was shooting somebody, and then it came out of it, and I was like, oh, I just lagged. I was just lagging a little bit, and I was somehow able to kill that person. And so I kept doing it, and then a bunch of people started doing it, but not everybody. Not everybody knew how to do that. It was a sort of unique, gameplay unlock that you can have. Cheers to me finding that out. And it made it just a ton of fun. 2 is one of the greatest co-op games I've ever played. Oh man, I had so much fun with that game. And just the gameplay style and the world, I loved, man. Like, don't get me wrong, Saints Row 3 and subsequent, they're good games. They don't hold a fucking candle to 1 and 2. And like, yeah, maybe would I say like 20 of the games that I've mentioned before would be higher than Saints Row 1 and 2? Yeah, for sure. But I think it's just one of those games that I hold just such fond memories to. I really absolutely love this game. It's a special one. This game, I feel like anybody that plays it, it's in their top 5, and it's Fire Emblem Awakening. This was the first Fire Emblem game I ever played, and oh my God, what a first game of an entry. I actually have it sealed because I love that game so much. I think it's the best setting and the group and the best story and the best gameplay, and it's just the perfectly balanced version of all the Fire Emblem games. I want to play through all of them. I've played through a little bit of Path of Radiance, and I played through subsequently every game afterwards, like Three Houses and the other one for the 3DS, and then I played a little bit of the last one. I wasn't in love with it. Like, I love Fire Emblem, but I just wasn't in love with the gameplay. So with the story, I was so bored with the story. Oh my God. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't want to just keep playing this game just because it's a Fire Emblem game. I don't need to put myself through this shitty story. In my opinion, it was really bad. So, but I would probably say the next closest one would be Three Houses. But I do think that Path of Radiance is going to be the one that may end up becoming like a personal favorite, because I was playing through it, and dude, I got basically fucked. There was this one portion where I got surrounded by enemies pretty early on in the game, maybe like 2.5 hours into it, and I got fucking destroyed. I just got destroyed, and I knew I had to restart, and I was like, bro, I'm not gonna restart this fucking game. I already put like a couple hours. I don't know how many hours, but so I'm gonna one day replay that, maybe with a guide, because I don't personally give a fuck. I play games with a guide now. I don't have the time like I used to figure everything out, and I know I'm pretty good anyway, so most of the time I don't need a direct guide, but if I do need a guide, I'm going to use it. I don't really care. But yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening is perfect. I think it's the best DS game I ever played, for sure. Okay, so this is a big one. This is a big one because I think I even could have brought this one way higher, but I think I like where I put it. So Resident Evil 7 is my number 17. Dude, this is gonna be a fucking 2-hour video. Oh my god. Maybe I might I might fucking break up the top 10 to their own video. I think it makes the most sense. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do that. So because I think I'm gonna need a whole hour for the top 10. Okay, Resident Evil 7 is a game that I feel like it could be even interchangeable with Resident Evil 2 Remastered and some of the other Resident Evil games, like maybe even the original 3. I haven't played enough of 3 to really say that though. Either way, it's definitely those two for sure. And I just think that Resident Evil 7 for me is more iconic because it was the completed version of what PT should have been. And obviously it wasn't anywhere near as scary, but PT basically paved the way, and honestly, I should say PT is the honorable mention because PT Silent Hill PT should have absolutely been um, made, and it's a shock. It's still a shock to me that that game was never fucking made. I mean, just a tragedy, honestly, a fucking tragedy. It had everything going for it, whatever. So yeah, it was basically the finished version of that, and it was just a perfect version of Resident Evil, and it one of the scariest games I've ever played. One of the most fun games I've ever played. Fantastic story. God, what do I even say? Because I don't want to sound repetitive. A lot of the things that I've said about these other games, I think I'm just going to really go through my own personal experience at this point. Because a lot of these are just flawless games. There's not really much to say. The highlights are really just that they're flawless. So just understand that every game from this point on is flawless. And I'm going to just talk about my personal experience. So Resident Evil 7 was just incredibly scary for me. I loved playing it. I got so into the story and I got into just wanting to really beat the fucking game. Yeah, it's one of the scariest games I've ever played, and I think some levels in that game, man, like the fucking father chasing you throughout the fucking house. It's just what can you even say about that? It's incredibly special. I think it's absolutely one of the scariest games ever made. Ooh, another honorable mention, which I should have mentioned before, is Devotion. It's a fucking Taiwanese, I think it's a Taiwanese game. Amazing, amazing story. Damn, honestly, fuck, I would put Devotion up here. I would absolutely put Devotion. I loved Devotion. I played that shit twice. I completely forgot about Devotion. Um, I'm gonna put Devotion 101 though, because I do think that that game, nah, man, it's better than some of these games. Either way, just know Devotion is in my top 100. I'm gonna write it down here as one that I forgot to include. Yeah, just somewhere amongst maybe the top 75. Uh, but yeah, so Devotion is, I think, another sort of birth child of what Resident Evil 7 sort of showcased, and PT obviously. PT is the main fucking mother, and these are all of its children. And I think Resident Evil 7 perfectly captured what people wanted in that game. It might not be exactly what it was, but I think it still gave us enough of that I'm super excited for this next one. I mean, I have high expectations for it, and rarely do I have expectations for video games. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This one's kind of a no-brainer. Super Smash Bros. I'm gonna say Melee, but also 64 I hold dearly. I played the fuck out of these games when I was a kid. I used to fucking go to hotels, and if I saw it, I would fucking play it. Played it with friends. I was fucking elite as fuck in this game. I was a Kirby main, and I like to play Mario and Star Fox primarily. There was other characters that I knew how to play later on, but these were the ones that I was really good with. Like Samus, I was pretty good with, but yeah, there's not much to say. It's just Super Smash Bros. Like, fucking play it. Amazing. This one, not a lot of people would mention. At least I don't think so. And it's gonna be The Sims 2. I know people love Sims 3 and Sims 4. I think that they took features out from Sims 2 that, for me, never really captured the same essence. And this one, I'm actually even going to talk about The Sims 2, like, online website where you could upload your own customizations, but you could even upload your own stories. And I used to go to this website and dude, I would upload my own stories. It was one of the first instances of where I used to write, and I didn't even realize that until now. Yeah, I made stories, I wrote, and I communicated with other people. It was one of the facets of playing Sims 2 that was a lot of fun. So beyond that, I just have the most fond memories. I made families, dude. I made memories, and the memories were always the funnest thing for me because I used to love going back and looking through them. Oh, this is when I mastered this. Oh, this is when I married my second wife. Oh, this is when I had this child. It was just it was special. It was special. I don't know if I would even enjoy the game today. It probably would be so dated, but yeah, it's a special game for sure. It holds a special place in my heart. I probably played the most out of The Sims 2 out of any game though. Like seriously, and I've said that I've put months into other games. Yeah, I probably put like a year into fucking consecutively all the Sims games. All the Sims games over time. I fucking love it. I could even say that this is probably my favorite game of all time. Number 14 is going to be Mario 64. I don't even know if I have really much to say about this one either. It's just the most iconic game. I think that this could easily be considered like if we had to as a society collectively choose a game that we feel is the best representation of video games, I think Mario 64 would be that game. It's the most fun, it's the most beautiful, brilliant, creative, um, one of the most iconic characters of all time. Like it's literally him and Master Chief in my mind that are the most iconic characters ever. I don't know, even from looking at this list, I don't know who else would even come close to those two. Yeah. So that's all I really have to say. It's iconic. Number 13 is gonna go to Elden Ring. Honestly, I could probably even put Elden Ring into the top five. I just felt like it would be a disservice to some of these other games that have been around for a longer time. But let's be real here. It's probably the best Souls game of all time. It's the best game ever made. Uh, yeah, it's just the best game ever made. It's perfect. It's accessible somehow as a Souls game, but it's also incredibly difficult. And beating some of these bosses, oh my god. Uh, Melania, fucking insane. The motherfucker, the fucking asshole with the hood that turns into a fucking dragon or whatever the fuck he turns into later on. That was one of the hardest bosses I've ever fought. And then the final boss is so beautiful, just so beautifully designed, so eloquently designed. I'll never forget that game. And you know what motherfucker I hated? The fucking Red Giant. What a bullshit fucking character. You know, I was playing the game when I was sick, when I had COVID. I had to fucking play the Red Giant while I was sick and I had fucking COVID. And let me tell you, that damn near forced me to fucking quit the fucking game. I fucking hated that character. Bullshit character. One thing, even the best fucking speedrunners of that game fucking struggle with him because he's bullshit. He's an asshole. He's unpredictable as hell, super fucking tanky, there's no way to take advantage of any weakness. He has no fucking weakness. It's so fucking frustrating, dude. Incredibly annoying boss. I fucking hated that boss. At the same time, I love how much I hated him, and I think that's a good thing. I'm gonna get into more of the Souls game probably in my top 10 because obviously there's gonna be one more Souls game that I'm gonna talk about in the top 10. But just know that Elden Ring, the DLC, it's a perfect game. It's in modern era. If I had to say Mario 64 is the perfect game for the vintage era, and I mean there's other games that maybe could be better, but obviously like the perfect game, the perfect one that captures everything. Elden Ring is what captures everything about this modern era. This need to be for games to be complicated, difficult, to have a particular art style, to have certain accessibilities. It perfectly encompasses all of it. I don't think there's another game, even on this list, that perfectly captures what the modern era is, and this game captures it amazingly so. It's a perfect game. Okay, number 12 is Left 4 Dead 2. It's funny going from Elden Ring to Left 4 Dead 2 because I feel like Elden Ring clears, but I will say that Left 4 Dead 2, I think for me, it was some of the most fun multiplayer I had when I was a kid. I used to play it with my friends all the time, replayed the fuck out of those levels. The difficulty was so much fun, trying to avoid the witches. Um, Even some of the customizable levels that became a thing. If you played the game, um, the characters are iconic. There was just so much that like when it came to when it came to Left 4 Dead 2 that I think it definitely became influential in the sort of zombie genre because there really wasn't any other game that was coming out during the Left 4 Dead series that was as popular. I think maybe a couple years later it was where what's this franchise? The Walking Dead, when that came out and the games came out. I know that that was pretty popular and people love them, but I think Left 4 Dead 2 is really what started a lot of it, and even Left 4 Dead. Um, yeah, I guess it's kind of funny as I'm mentioning a lot of these more pristinely perfect games. I feel like the higher up I'm going up on this list, the less I have to say. It's just because I feel like the games speak for themselves. It's like I don't really need to say much. Like even number 11 with Batman Arkham Asylum, one of the best beat 'em ups, like beat 'em up style, but it had its own flair, and extremely influential. Went on to influence so many other games afterwards. The Batman title, I fucking love Batman, and it's easily the best Batman game of all time. I don't even think anything comes close. And then even I would say that Arkham Knight is probably the second best game. I want to play Arkham City again because, funnily enough, I have that sealed. I don't have anything else sealed. But yeah, it's just amazing. I think if you ever wanted to be Batman, this is the best series to ever go into it. And I think it's highly replayable. I know I'm going to replay it one day because it's Batman and living out in that world, having Joker as the primary villain in the first one. It's just iconic. It was a game that really came out and it shocked me at how great it was. I love that it was great because I love Batman, and to have a game that perfectly captured what it would feel like to be Batman, it was a life-changing experience as a kid. Okay, so I think that'll be the last one. This one was a little bit shorter than the first one. I'm definitely starting to feel tired, so I'm like, fuck, do I take a break again? I don't really know what to do. Either way, let me figure that out. I'll see you guys for the third part, okay, which is just going to be the top 10, and I'm hoping that it's not going to take an hour and a half. Maybe it'll take a while, though. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.